Two of the stars from Friends reuniting in a hippie commune in Georgia. Yeah, I don't think anyone else could have predicted that would happen. Wanderlust stars Paul Rudd and Jennifer Aniston as a Manhattan couple who have to evict from their loft because Rudd's character ends up getting fired from his job, so they have to move down to Georgia to live with his brother played by Marino. However, along the way, they stop at a bed and breakfast called the Elysium, which really turns out to be a hippie commune. While there, they decide they're going to stay for 2 weeks because of the peaceful and very free-spirited atmosphere, but they soon debate whether they're going to stay there on a full basis or continue with their trip to go back to urban life in general. Wanderlust wasn't really high on my radar regarding the movies releasing this weekend, but I do love Paul Rudd, and it has a great supporting cast comprised of a lot of cult hit comedy actors, so I ended up deciding, what the hell, I'd give it a chance. And in the end, while it is inconsistent compared to director David Wain's previous effort, Role Models, which is one of my favorite comedies from the last decade, this is still a solid film for what it delivers on, but it's definitely not going to be anything I'll remember for some time there. Paul Rudd is without a doubt one of the greatest working comedic actors that Hollywood has today, and every movie he delivers on the hilarity factor, and in this movie he gets to shine several times because he displays those classic mannerisms, the fast sputtering dialogue at times, and there's a scene in particular which a lot of people are talking about, of course, in which he is psyching himself up in a mirror, and it is all improvised. You can tell I was in tears laughing at that scene. Along with this, Our Idiot Brother, and a lot of the other comedies that I've seen him in the past few years, I just wish that everyone could be like Paul Rudd, in which they could be the lovable and sweet guy, but also be very hilarious at the same time. The world would be such a great place if that did actually happen. Jennifer Aniston, on the other hand, is mostly there to just show off her body, because even at 43 she does still look good, but she really isn't given anything else to really work with because a lot of her comedy does fall flat throughout. I wasn't really laughing at a lot of the stuff that her character got into throughout, and it really felt like they could have casted anyone in this role and I would have had the same viewpoint on the role just the same as I did for her. Now, if you're a fan of the following comedy shows, specifically MTV's The State, Comedy Central's Children's Hospital, and the cult hit Starz series Party Down, you're definitely gonna like a lot of the supporting actors that turn up in this movie, like Marino, Kerri Truglio, Truglio, and even director David Wain, who has an extended cameo in this movie. All of the supporting actors with their backup in a lot of the great comedy series that they have starred in, which I haven't really seen any of them, but I really want to get to them soon. All of them do a good job, even though some of them have characters that have a lot of running gags that get old after a while, but for the time being that when they first introduce them, they do have a lot of great comedic timing for those. The first half of this movie is mostly consistent in making you laugh, as there are a lot of hilarious moments that mostly stem from the extremely awkward situations that these two characters get into with all the hippies part of the place. However, when it got to the second half, the story calls for certain parts in which these characters have a complete 180 on their personalities and motivations, and it just seems very unexpected and it just didn't really fit with a huge impact in the end. Also, as I said before, there are certain jokes that do fall flat, and there are some running gags that do grow a little tiresome the more they begin to repeat them throughout the film, and there is a lot of full frontal nudity in this movie, and it also takes away from George Clooney's statement when he won the Golden Globe for Best Actor for The Descendants, when he said that Michael Fassbender has taken over the reign of full frontal nudity in movies. Yeah, there are a lot of people that wanted to steal his thunder in this movie, that's for sure. But besides those nitpickets, if you know what kind of film you're getting into, and if you're a big fan of Paul Rudd and all these cult comedians that star in this film, then you're definitely going to have a fun time with it and embrace it for the ridiculous situations that happen. And that's why I'm going to give Wanderlust a very solid 3 out of 5 stars. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Wanderlust. Make sure to click one of these annotations right here for other reviews for Active Hour and Goon. I'm going to take a break for the next few days, but I'll be back on Wednesday with my March movies preview, and I'll be reviewing Project X and the Lorax next weekend. So in the meantime, I'm Tyler from CaliCritic Reviews. I'll have the first edition of CaliCritic Classics hopefully up this Tuesday, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.